Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name is Erin, and today I thought it's early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock. I've just gotten the kids off to school, and I thought I would make a video and do a little bit more coloring in my planner and the image for this week. And I just wanted to have a talk, just a chat with all of my wonderful subscribers. The first and foremost, the most important reason behind this is to thank you guys. I do just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, who has provided me with advice, who has joined the Facebook group, and all of the above. It means the world to me that so many of you take time out of your day to come and watch what I have to say, to spend time with me. I did my first ever live stream yesterday evening, and it was so much fun. I thought that I wouldn't enjoy it. I thought that I would be too nervous and too backward really to, oh, sorry, the camera's moving, and too backward really to enjoy doing a live stream. But that turned out not to be the case. It was a lot of fun. So for those of you who are interested in live stream events, I will be doing mine every week, every Sunday at about 7 o'clock Central Time. So if that's something that you're interested in attending, you certainly can do so. I realize that there are people who watch from other parts of the world. We have people watching from the UK, from Australia, from South Africa. So what I'm going to try to do is at least once or twice a month, I'm going to try to do like a late night stream of sorts so that these people can also join in on the fun. Again, thank you to everybody for your support and for your encouragement. It really does help a lot when it comes to making these videos, keeping the group active, and that kind of thing. Today's talk, though, is going to be something a little bit different. It's not really going to be about the techniques that we use when we color. It's going to be more about the process of coloring itself. As you can tell by the title of the video, it's a pep talk. And I feel like we've kind of reached a point in the group where we've grown to the point that I'm not able to see everyone's work. I'm not able to comment on everyone's work, and I'm not able to respond to every single YouTube comment because it's just grown substantially. It seems like just yesterday we were doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway, and now we're up to 3,600 YouTube subscribers already. The group is over 900, whereas just a few weeks ago we were barely over 200. So, things are going to the point that I'm not going to be able to personally respond to everyone. And as the group continues to grow, there are going to be different kinds of people joining, people at all different skill levels, people with all different opinions on coloring and art. So I wanted to take this time to just discuss a few things with everyone, and I think this can apply to all of us, regardless of where we're from, where we are with our coloring skill, how long we've been coloring. Just a few things that I see in the group and in the YouTube comments. So now is a good time to address those. The first thing that I see a lot of when scrolling through the comments on the Facebook group are comments like, I'll never be able to color that good. I guess I'm just always going to be a beginner. I can't do this as good as you can do this. I couldn't do that if I tried. These kinds of comments. And I know that there are a lot of you who feel that way. You pick up your pencils and your books and you sit down to color and you have something in your mind or you see something on your screen that you're trying to duplicate, but you struggle to do so. And I can be 100% honest with you, I have been there. When I started my coloring journey, I was right there with you. I saw all these beautiful things that people were doing, and I wanted to do them too. I wanted my coloring pages to look just like that. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it happen, no matter how hard I tried. There's something I think that we all need to keep in mind when it comes to our coloring adventure, our coloring journeys. It is a journey, guys. It's like anything else. It's like riding a bicycle, really. You can't pick up a coloring book and a set of colored pencils and expect to make magic happen right away. It's just not the way it works. Artists, like actual real artists who draw our coloring books, who put color onto paper, and who do like commissions, we're all artists. I don't want to take away from that. If you color pages, you are an artist. The fine artists who do commissions and who sell their works and things of that nature, they're not born knowing how to do that. It took them years and years and years and years and years of practicing, of honing their skills, of learning new things, of researching, trial and error. Coloring is just like that. You have to learn how to do it, and you have to practice doing it if you want, like professional looking results. And that's just the way it goes. You may be afraid of making mistakes. I like the mantra that I think Bob Ross taught us all, and I'm sure that most of you guys have seen Bob Ross at some point in your lives. One of the things that drew me to him and still draws me to him today is his attitude that there is no such thing as a mistake. There's not. It's your art. It's your coloring book. It's your coloring page. You can do anything you want to do. If you want your trees to have polka dots, then by golly, your trees should have polka dots. And that's just how it is. If something doesn't turn out the way that you'd hoped, that doesn't mean it's wrong. And that doesn't mean you've made a mistake. No matter what happens, guys, you have put your heart and your soul into that coloring page. And that's all that matters. Coloring is not about the end result. It's about the journey. It's about the process of putting the color to the paper. That's something I think we all need to keep in mind all the time. And just, something to really think about. If you are to a point where the process of coloring stresses you out because you feel like you can't create the results that you want on your page or that you see others create, in all honesty, if coloring is stressing you out, it may be time to take a break. Or just stay away from the coloring pages on social media and enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the process. And I know that may seem a little harsh. And it kind of does seem a little harsh. But coloring isn't supposed to stress you out, guys. Coloring is supposed to be a relaxing activity. Something that you do to unwind. Something that you do to treat your pain, to take your mind off things. Something that you do to relieve your anxiety. It's not something that's supposed to make your anxiety worse. And if you find yourself at a point where coloring is making your anxiety worse, then you need to figure out why that is, first and foremost. Why is coloring making you so anxious? And if it's to the point that it's bothering you, then it's time to make a change. So my goal with this little video here is to kind of help you guys realize that everybody is different. We all color differently. We all color different things with different media. And there's nothing at all wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. Something to keep in mind too is that it takes people sometimes years to develop their craft enough that they can, add things to their backgrounds and draw extra things into their images and that kind of thing. I still don't do it, guys. I've been coloring since early May, and I'm still afraid of adding things to my pictures. I'll get there. I want to do it, and I will get there, but I don't want to try it just yet. It still intimidates me, and I think trying it would cause more anxiety than it would solve. So I'm just not to that point yet, but I will be. And it's all a matter of practice. And I say this, I don't know how many times a day to different people. It's all about practice. Practice makes perfect. Now with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about supplies. Another common theme that I see is I can't afford the artist grade pencils, or I can't afford that coloring book. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. If you are a member of my Facebook group, which is Simple Art for Adults, it's the group. It's easy enough to find. Just type it into the Facebook search bar. You can scroll through all the pictures that people have posted. And recently, and I can't remember who it is, and I'm really, really sorry. I can't remember who it is, but someone colored a picture with Crayola colored pencils, just the classic Crayola colored pencils, and it was one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen. So that's a testament to the idea that you don't have to have expensive supplies to do things, to make beautiful pictures. I think there's a misconception among people that if they go out and buy a set of $150, $200, $250, $300 pencils, that they're somehow going to magically improve, that those pencils are magical and they're going to make them be able to do things that they can't do with their student grade pencils or their Crayolas or their Crazy Arts or whatever they happen to be using. And that's just not the case. In my opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and say this now, everything I'm telling you right now is a matter of opinion. In my opinion, artist grade supplies can allow you to get more out of your coloring experience in some cases. This is especially true for people who are just learning new coloring techniques. If you're just learning to layer and blend, if you're just learning how to shade, those kinds of things, you can be limited to a degree by student grade pencils. If you disagree with me, I'm very sorry, but that's just how it is for me. That's my opinion. When you're using a pencil like a Crazy Art, for example, you really have to work at it to get your pigment saturated on the paper. So if you're going for a seamless gradient with a student grade pencil like that, it's going to take you 3 times as long to create that gradient with those pencils as it would with something like a Prismacolor. And that's the honest to goodness truth for most people. So that's why I say, if you're starting out and you know you love colored pencils but you're struggling to master certain techniques, a small set of artist grade pencils may help nudge you into the right direction. Can you layer and blend and shade with budget pencils? Oh, absolutely. You absolutely 100% can. There's no doubt about that. But for me personally, I struggled with them until I went and bought my Prismacolors. I got to the point where I could do like basic layering, basic blending, and I got to the point where I felt more comfortable doing it. But there came a point where I was being limited by my tools to a degree. I got to a point where I couldn't learn anymore, simply because my tools weren't working with me in that regard. So, you know, you can do wonderful things with budget grade tools. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it happen. But I think that for me, like right now, if I went and picked up a set of Crayolas, I would be able to do some really nice things with them. If I'd never picked up an artist grade pencil ever in my life and colored with it, I probably wouldn't be as good with the Crayolas as I am today. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, guys. I'm not the best colorist in the world. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that using the artist grade supplies made me a better colorist with the student grade supplies too. So I hope that makes sense. And for those of you guys who say, well, I can't afford artist grade pencils. Okay. You know, that is an obstacle and it's something that you really do have to work around. You can buy a set of Prismacolors, just the 24, on Amazon right now for $8 and something. And you would be surprised at what you can do with just the 24 Prismacolors. In fact, if you have the Crazy Arts or Crayolas and you buy the 24 Prismacolors, you can use those pencils together. There's no law that says you can't. So you can just consider your Prismacolors in addition to what you already have. And the 24 pack of Prismacolors is cheaper than the 100 box of Crayola right now. It's a really good price. So if you've been on the fence about it, or if you've been saying, well, I can't afford the artist grade pencils, I would encourage you to save your pennies. Even if you have to save $1 a week for the next 2 months, I would encourage you to try something. If you don't want the Prismacolors, if you're afraid of the quality issues that people have experienced with the Prismacolors, then try a small set of the Faber-Castell Polychromos. They are more expensive than the Prismacolors by a great deal, and a 24 set of those is something like $30 or $35. But again, you know, instead of buying a $4 coloring book here and there, or a $5 coloring book here and there, instead of buying a coffee at Starbucks or something to that effect, just put that money back, wait until you have enough saved up, and then buy yourself a small set of the pencils and see how you like them. Better still, if you have an art store nearby, if you have like a Dick Blick or a Michaels or a Hobby Lobby that sells open stock Prismacolor and Faber-Castell Polychromos, I would encourage you to buy a couple, just a couple, of whichever brand you're interested in, and bring them home and incorporate them into your set of whatever you're using now. So let's say that you are using Crazy Art pencils. You can swatch them out. Number one, swatch them out so you know what colors you have. Then take a piece of scrap paper with you to Hobby Lobby or Michaels or wherever it is that you shop, and test out the different colors right there on your paper. You can absolutely do that. People do it all the time. Test your pencils, all the ones that they have in the display. Just take them out, color them on your little piece of paper, and try to choose ones that are going to complement the colors that you already have. This way you are more inclined to use just that handful of pencils. And then give it a couple weeks. Incorporate those pencils into your whatever set you have now and give it a couple weeks. And then at the end of a couple weeks, try to judge how often you find yourself reaching for those pencils. Are you reaching for them more often? Do you find yourself wishing that you had more colors to use with those particular pencils? If you can answer yes to those questions, then it's probably a good idea for you to consider upgrading to a bigger set. If you are on a budget, I used to recommend going out and buying yourself a 12 set, and I'm not going to do that anymore because I don't think the 12 set gives you enough colors to do much with. When you're buying colored pencils, it's important that you have sets with colors that complement one another. So you want like lights, mediums, and darks so that you can use that set of pencils exclusively and get the results that you're trying to get. So both the Prismacolor 24 set and the Faber-Castell Polychromos 24 set, I think, have a good range of colors for that. So the smallest set of pencils that you should start with is a 24 set. So just to go over this one more time, if you're interested in upgrading to artist grade supplies, but you are on a budget and you can't really afford to just go out and buy a set of pencils, then the first step would be to go buy yourself a couple of open stock pencils if you can. Incorporate those into your current set. See how you like them. See how often you find yourself reaching for them. If you find yourself wishing you had more of those particular pencils and you're using them frequently, but you're on a budget and you can't go out and buy the full set, then I would recommend investing in a 24 set. Now, if you're extremely patient and you can save for a long time, then by all means, save your pennies until you have enough to buy the full set of whatever pencils it is that you're in love with. That's what I plan to do with the Pablos. They're my favorites. I love them. I could go and buy like a 40 set or whatever it is right now, but I'm not going to. I know I'm going to want the full set, so I'm saving so I can get those. And I hope that helps some of you guys, really. I know that it's tough when you see everybody else using things and that you really wish that you had or that you could go out and afford, or you could afford to go out and buy. It is tough. It really, really is tough. But I think that if instead of going out and buying something that you're not sure you're going to like, right? Like I know some people who went out and bought the sets of Prismacolors on Black Friday just because so many people use them and so many people love them. Well, they got their Prismacolors and they just don't like them. So now they're selling them. They're selling their used Prismacolors to somebody who wants them. And that's okay. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, if you want to just jump in and head first and buy the biggest set you can afford, do it if that's what you want to do. It's just not something I would personally recommend for somebody who's just getting started. So there are two things that I wanted to cover. And like I said, guys, it's my opinion. It's not fact. It's not anything that's set into stone. It's just something I wanted to share with you all, how I feel about it. If it helps you, wonderful. If it doesn't help and you disagree, I mean, feel free to tell me why you disagree in the comments. That's fine. It's okay to disagree. We learn from each other when we have disagreements. So, finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about. My YouTube channel and my Facebook group, they are time consuming, guys, and the more the group and the channel grows, the more time consuming it becomes. The harder it is for me to keep up with all the comments, all the posts, to enforce the rules of the group and make sure nobody's breaking any copyright laws, and that kind of thing. It does get difficult with time. And so what I found myself doing is trying to manage, I also work, I'm a content writer. So what I found myself trying to do is I'm trying to manage my YouTube channel and group much like a job. I'm trying to treat it like a job, and schedule time for it to make sure that you guys always have something new to watch, something new to see. My admins and moderators, you guys are wonderful. I absolutely could not do any of this without you. So I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for what you do. It helps more than you know what you guys do. So I've been talking to friends and family recently, and they are encouraging me to start a Patreon account. And for those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a platform where I can go and upload videos or create, art or whatever, and charge a monthly fee to access those videos. And so for the last few weeks, my business savvy friends and family have been encouraging me to start a Patreon account and channel, so to speak, so that, because this is kind of like a job for me and it is so time consuming and demanding, that if I do end up taking time away from my actual work, which is how I, make my money at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm missing out on part of my paycheck. So I looked into it. I looked into Patreon. I looked into seeing how it would work and, what I would charge everybody to access certain things. And then I got to thinking about it. I don't want to do that, guys. I don't want to charge people to access my videos. Number one, there are so many talented artists out there who can do so much for you. So if you're going to spend your hard-earned money to pay to watch somebody's videos, and as horrible as this might sound, especially given the pep talk that I'm trying to give to you guys, I don't think my content is the best thing for you guys to spend your money on. There are professional artists out there who can give you much better information and frankly who are much better teachers than I am. And I would not feel right asking you guys to spend your money to watch my videos. So I have decided that Patreon is not for me. Now, in a couple years or in 6 months down the road, if I feel like I have something worth offering, like let's say that I wanted, somebody in the Facebook group had the idea that I do like a class, like I set it up like a class, and I do like 12 classes, for example, per thing, and I could charge you guys like $5 a month to access and participate in the class, and I can provide you with like a guaranteed number of hours of instruction every week or whatever. And I thought about that too, but why can't I do that for free? You know what I mean? Why can't I just do something like that and give it to you guys? Because once again, I understand why people do the Patreon thing, because they do deserve to be compensated for their time and the energy that goes into doing what they do. But I'm not there yet, I don't think. Me personally, I'm just not there yet. It's not something I want to do yet. So, as an alternative to Patreon, what I've decided to do is use a platform called Ko-fi. And it's www.ko.fi.com. And basically the premise is is it's a donations effort. Instead of telling you guys that you have to pay so much money a month to access my content, which I personally don't think is for me. What Ko-fi is it's a donation platform. It's basically you log in through Ko-fi and you can buy me a coffee. And it's $3 for each coffee. You can buy one, you can buy 6, you can buy multiples. It's a one-time purchase, just one time. So it's not like a monthly recurring thing where it's going to keep taking money out. And you can choose to do it as often as you'd like. You can do it once a week, once a month, once every 6 months, once a year, or you can not do it at all. And for me, that makes more sense. And here's the reason why. Most of us who are colorists are on strict budgets. Even if I started a Patreon account and said it's $1 a month to access things here, there are going to be people who don't have the extra $1 a month. And that's just life. And I know that seems crazy, but until you've been in those shoes, you don't understand. And I have been there. So I don't want to deny somebody access to content just because they don't have that $1 a month to spend. However, for those of you who have asked about providing financial support for the channel or, you know, sending gifts, products to review and things of that nature, I want you to have the opportunity to do so too. As much to me as it sounds like panhandling, and it kind of does seem like panhandling to me, it does help me out. It really helps me out when you guys send books or products or things like that for me to review, because it's one less thing that I have to pay for out of my pocket. And to be fair with you guys, it gets expensive to buy coloring books and products and things out of pocket all the time. So the Ko-fi website, if you guys are concerned about security, the Ko-fi website is run directly through PayPal. My dog's stomach is growling down here. It's funny. It's done directly through PayPal, so if you choose to buy me a coffee, it's going to take you to PayPal to log in and make a donation that way. It's only $3. If you want to donate, that's wonderful. If you don't want to donate, that's perfectly acceptable too. I'm not going to be angry with you if you don't. I'm going to start putting the link in each one of my YouTube videos, and it's going to just say tip jar. And then you just click the link and follow the instructions. If you are interested in doing that, it's going to be downstairs. I am a YouTube partner, which means when you see the ads on my YouTube videos, I do make I think like $1 for every 5,000 views or something I get. So there's a small source of income, and then I'm also an Amazon affiliate, so for every order you guys place, I make a little bit of change too. It is not much though. Does it help? Yes, but it's really not that much. So I'm trying, like my friends and family said, it's not a bad thing to explore different avenues. I just don't want to come off and make it seem like I'm begging or anything like that, because that's not the case. I don't expect anything from anybody. You guys just being here, liking my videos, subscribing to my channel, giving me encouragement. So many of you guys encourage me through messages or through posts on the Facebook group. That means more to me than anything. And just your friendship, guys. I mean, I've made a lot of new friends during this venture. Lots of new friends. And there's nothing more valuable to me than friendship. So, well, that pretty much concludes my pep talk. And I know that I've probably said some things today that are going to anger some people. And I know that some people are more than likely going to disagree with some of the things that I've said here today. And that's okay. Once again, almost dropped my pencil. Once again, it is just a matter of opinion. It's how I feel about things. So if you disagree, that you're right. Instead of just giving the video a thumbs down and moving on, if you're going to do that, please let me know what it is you disagree with, so that I can have the opportunity to learn from someone else's point of view. And that's all I ask. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here today. Just for the purpose of crediting the artist, this is the Johanna Basford 2017-2018 planner. And these are the Chameleon Color Tones pencils right here that I've been using to color it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and do so. You're going to find all kinds of cool things here that are really going to help you out in your coloring journey. As I learn things, I get on the camera and I share them with you. We do experiments, I do live streams, I do coloring chats, all kinds of stuff. So No matter what you like, you'll find something here, I'm sure. Please give my video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it and you give it a thumbs down, that's okay, but please let me know why, what it is about this video that you don't really like. Again, I think that disagreements are a great way to learn, so I would like that information. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and until next time, happy coloring.